Notice is hereby given in accordance with sections 18-25 of Chapter 30A of the General Laws of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, that a meeting of the Board of Health will be held at 1 p.m. on January 21st, 2021, in an online conference mode hosted on Zoom. In accordance with the Governor Baker's March 12th, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the Open Meeting Law, General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 20, this meeting will be held remotely, and members of the public will not be able to physically attend the meeting. It will subsequently be broadcast on youtube.com. Okay, so I'm calling the meeting to order. First order of business is Board Member Mary Kelly has filed a disclosure that will cause her to be unable to interview and vote on the candidates for the position of Health Inspector Department Head. In light of that, should there be a tie between the other two members, can I have a motion to table action on this vote in order to seek guidance on our next step?
I'll make that motion.
And
Dawn Varley, sorry.
that's okay.
Mhm.
One made the motion. Any discussion?
It needs to be seconded.
Yeah, I have to second it because I'm the
Yeah.
only. Now I'll second it, and we'll vote. Dawn
Yes.
and Barbara, yes. Okay. Also, I want to mention that former Chair Eric Jubert, Health Inspector Department Head Alexis Andrews, and Administrative Assistant Dina Amato will be allowed to participate in the interviewing process, but will not have a vote. I need we had a candidate cancel. So I need a motion that as this candidate scheduled for 1:15 withdrew, can I have a motion to go into recess until 1:30?
I'll make that motion.
Discussion?
No, I do want to just say one thing. I would like to thank Eric Jubert for his services. Being me coming out of the toilet in the front lawn, wherever. Anyways,
Oh,
I'd like to, I'd like to publicly thank him for his services because this is a very important position, and thank Alexis for everything that she's done. And so that's what I would like on the record. Thank you.
Okay. So I'm seconding the motion that we go into recess until 1:30. We're going to vote. Dawn?
It's 1:30.
Yep, until 1:30.
Okay. Yes.
Okay, and I vote, and Barbara vote yes. We'll admit him now. Okay. He's connecting. It's connecting to audio. It's connecting to audio. Leon, are you there? Leon,
Hello, Leon.
hello, we can see you.
Goodbye, Leon.
Yeah.
And hello again. No problem. Take your time.
Okay.
All right, I can hear now.
Okay, you are now? Okay. Welcome.
Thank you.
And introduce you to everyone before we get started.
Okay.
White, I'm the chair of the board. I'm Alexis Andrews, I'm the Health Inspector Department Head. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
I'm Dawn Varley. I'm a member. I'm probably the newest member, and I'm also the town clerk in Whitman as well.
Nice to meet you.
Yes, same here.
Mary.
Hello, I'm Mary Kelly. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
Hi, I'm Eric Jubert. I was on the Board of Health, and we trying to put all the brains together to do the interviewing process.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, sir. Tell us a little about yourself, Leon.
Let's see. Graduated from Bridgewater State University. Had a bachelor's degree in biology. While I was at Bridgewater State, I decided to get like I started conducting like undergraduate research work. So it's a lot of environmental science mixed with you could say biology and chemistry. So it's like biochemistry based.
Yep.
And a lot of the research that I was working on, it was for like environmental sustainability. Was basically watching and monitoring the storm drains and making sure that they were doing their job, like they were doing their job. So they had a bioretention bed and a bioretention system. So basically, what that is, it's just an environmental efficient system that they have that basically collects all the pollutants once it rains, and it just filters it out so it doesn't go out into the city. So basically, my job was monitoring that and making sure all the pollutants wasn't going into the city. And so I did a study on that and just monitored the levels each year. So did that, and then once I left there, I started job hunting, and then I got a job at Interpolymer Corporation. That's a polymer-based company that makes polymers for like companies, say like thinking like Bayer, like paint. They make makeup as well, like cosmetics for like L'Oreal, paint strippers, wax. And the reason why I left there was just basically not really like I think like job security. Um, the business was very dwindling down, and I needed to like honestly like provide for family. And this is where I got the gig at Moderna, where I currently work right now, basically doing tests on the vaccine, doing tests for like mRNA encapsulation, pH, stuff like that, using the HPLC. And then I also help with like auditing as well.
Excellent. What city did you work for when you were doing the drainage monitoring?
That was in Bridgewater.
That was in Bridgewater. Okay. Great.
Why are you looking to change direction? Why are you interested in this position?
Yeah, mostly looking like, I wouldn't say mostly, definitely looking for a change. Working in the field that I am right now, uh, I'm the type of person I love communicating with people and interacting with individuals. And it's kind of hard to do that as a scientist. So because, you're in the lab 10 hours a day, not really communicating with people. The only thing you really communicate is your data, stuff that you find, but it's mostly via email. And you're not really, able to, you know, go amongst individuals or large groups and able to communicate with people with ideas and educate people as well. And I think that's what I miss. I used to do that when I was doing the undergraduate research work at Bridgewater State University. And I really miss having that interaction with the public. And basically, once I found like my research work, I put together like a big poster and everything. And I really liked that I was able to educate everyone on what I found and what was, basically what's really essential and important in Bridgewater and how it's affecting the community.
Okay. There's you're also a department head, not just health inspector in this position. Do you feel comfortable taking a leadership role?
Yeah, I'd say I definitely do. My role right now, like I said, I do help with like auditing, and that is like in a leadership role, like making sure everyone's up to date on their training, just walking through the lab with other individuals and just showing them, what's safe, what's not safe, what's in regulation, what's not in regulation, and just being in that role and just letting people know basically what's safe and what's not safe.
Mhm. You want to ask anything, Alexis? Sure. Mhm. I'm gonna leave it.
Hello again, Leon. I'm Alexis again.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. I actually am curious, do you feel that you have good visual skills to perform inspections? And have you, on any job you've had experience in your past employment when these skills come into play?
Yeah, definitely. I'd say even like right now, like one of the major things when working in a laboratory is always, doing visual inspections to make sure everything's safe. And that's, things like, making sure that like the hoods are properly vented, things are properly calibrated before you can even use something. You have to make sure something's been calibrated. Just because if you use a certain equipment and it's not up to date on its calibration, basically every work that you've done for that day using that equipment basically is just not valid. So other things too is like checking like for reports, making sure everything is in spec, with all the data that we have to go through and just managing all the numbers and stuff like that. So I'd say like a lot of visual inspection would come into play.
That sounds very good. Uh, As far as inspections go, businesses or whatever, when approaching a business owner, manager on a violation, if you can picture yourself doing this, say you've witnessed something in the food prep, food protection, or physical on-premise violation, how would you handle this? What type of conversation would you have with the owner or manager, and what steps would you take? You're probably not that familiar with doing inspections
Yeah.
on like
Yeah.
this. How would you handle, say, a difficult manager or owner when you're
Yeah, that's a really good question because I feel like in the lab setting, I guess it's just being much more direct, just because just want to get to the point and just let them know that something's not in regulation. But for a business owner, I think it's definitely like they have like a lot of emotions attached to that business, something they really care about. So you don't want to offend them in any way. So I think uh, definitely point out what is wrong, or ask them, just I think just them, bring it to their attention. I'd bring it to their attention, and once I bring it to their attention, just letting them know why why something's out of regulation and why it's important for it to be in regulation. And I guess the next steps would be to telling them what they need to do to get up to date with that.
okay?
So what would happen if you did all of that and they didn't bring it up to code? How would you address that?
I guess, yeah, if you didn't bring it up to code, I think, that's when they would need to be fined because, if you like in the lab setting as well, they have a certain amount of time to fix something. And if they come back and it's not fixed, they have to be fined.
Okay.
I have another question, or
Yep.
something to actually discuss with you.
Yeah.
This is a very small office in this position, and we work very closely. You would be working very closely with the administrative assistant. The administrative assistant in the Board of Health office is also very involved in the knowledge and health issues in dealing with the town's business licensing, and they play a large part in helping businesses understand licensing protocol prior to opening and staying current, working daily by phone and email with the same intentions in mind as the health inspector. We just want to make it clear that a good coworker relationship is imperative in this department. In this case, do you feel comfortable working closely with another on a daily basis?
Yeah. A little background on me. I love when people laugh. I love when people are in good moods, just because I feel like, just makes the workday just that much better. If you're spending that much time with people, it's good that, someone's a right fit and you don't want, I guess, a grouch right next to you. But I love making others laugh, love making others in a good mood, and just try to be as helpful as possible. So hopefully it's a good team.
It's
Yeah,
all about the team, that's for sure.
That's
Yeah.
right, all teamwork here. Okay, in this position also that you're applying for, a work cell is provided to be answered or checked frequently while not physically on the job. Sometimes an emergency situation comes up and it's necessary to come back into work or do an on-site call. Oftentimes calls are for guidance from townspeople, but answering these calls can truly calm a situation rather than waiting till Monday to come around. Other important calls that could come through may be in communication with the fire or police. Some may consider this an inconvenience. Would this be acceptable to you?
Yeah, I think it would. Like I said, if it comes with the job, and especially if like you said, it's like putting something at ease when something can't wait till Monday. Uh, I think I'd rather answer a phone call than like, I guess going into work. But like, if you have to go into work, if it's like an emergency, that's something that it comes with the territory as well. But yeah, I'm very open, I guess, like on being like a team player and having to do the necessary steps to get something done.
Yeah, that could mean sometimes, as Barbara and I can well attest to, is that you get the 2 o'clock in the morning phone call, fire went into a house and the place is less than livable. And you have to, you need to condemn the property, and it's 2 o'clock in the morning and you hope you have your suit with you so that you don't have to go in your barefoot or sandals. It's not always a clean and controlled environment, that's for sure. And you never know what you're going to step in this position. Are you flexible in that sense?
Yeah, it sounds a little fun.
It's
Yeah,
not the first time. After that,
nah, definitely. Yeah, that sounds like something I think I could live with.
okay.
I just actually have one last question on my part.
Yeah.
It's tough to plan your future, as we all know. You never know where your future lays, you know what I'm saying? But how do you visualize yourself in a job? Do you visualize yourself in this type of job long-term, or is this a stepping stone to something else possibly, or is that something you can answer?
Well, I definitely think it'd be like a right step in the direction I want to be in in like the public setting, help like, working directly with the public and be able to interact with people, like everyday people, and just helping them and just educating them on things and just help them in any ways that I really could help. I really do want to be in that type of setting, but like I guess where I picture myself in like say like 5 years or something, even like 10 years, I've always just pictured myself, I guess, just in like the public setting, and honestly just want to be surrounded by just good people. And I think that's just honestly like my goal. It sounds really, I don't like the way it sounds, but I think that's just the only way I can really explain it, because like that's the only way I really like I looked like in 5 years, just being in a setting where I'm just surrounded by good coworkers and just being in an environment where I'm happy.
Mhm. Okay.
Do you do anything in your community now?
Now I've done a little bit of volunteering, but now like with my work as of now, I'm just so busy. But I've done a lot of like community work at Bridgewater. I did like a lot of volunteering with the watershed lab, and what that is just basically students would come into the lab, and I would help with like setting up the lab, helping teach the kids about like lab safety, and helping them with like certain tests that they were doing. And I'd also educate them like on my research work that I was doing for Bridgewater State University, and just basically just educating them on environmental like sustainability and like why it's important to recycle and all that.
Excellent.
I have a couple questions. I don't know if,
Go ahead, Dawn.
all right. So one thing about municipal government is you may have multiple bosses or whatever. You have a board that actually is your supervisor that you have to answer to. It's not one person. It's not, we have a town administrator, we have a board of selectmen. Municipal government is a funny way of doing things. So you do have a board that oversees you. You run the department and things like that. Also, the town sets your salary. So I was wondering what your salary expectations were. So you can't, if you do an excellent job,
Yeah.
you can't say, I want 10% raise, or you want, your salary is based on what the town votes on. And I got to tell you, I don't know if you've watched or seen anything, but Whitman, salaries, they don't give very high salaries. So I'm not sure what your expectations are as far as monetary, what your salary would be. What's your feelings on that?
All right, that's a really good question. I haven't really thought about that. I guess I've tried to like kind of look at to see like to compare online. I'm not too sure like what the salary would be in Whitman. I guess though you gotta gotta work with I guess what you're given, and just I guess make sure both parties are happy. But like I guess I feel like if I was like offered something around like I guess this a little below my salary range right now, I'd still be content.
You really have to, like, my feeling is love your town and love your job to accept the salaries, in my opinion, for what you're required to do. They've said about going out at 2 a.m. and answering calls on your weekends and your time off. You are expected to do a lot for not a lot of pay. My next question to you is, tell me one of the best one of your best bosses and one of their best assets, and that something that you've taken with you, something that a boss has given you for advice, or something, how they've run an office, or a procedure that they required, and you think, well, that was a great idea. Is there something that you can think of quickly off the top of your head?
The first thing I thought about was like, I guess it's like, I think I always think back to like school, working with Dr. Curry at the, like doing my research at Bridgewater State University. And I think of that because, a lot of times when I worked with him, it was like during rain or shine, it was snowing, it was raining, it was beautiful out, it was sunny. And, I remember one day when I was out with him, it was like snowing and it was freezing out, but we had to go out and get the sample. And it was just like, we both had that same motive and that same goal. And, he just like said to me, you just gotta like work with what you're given. And I really like that because, it's just like you can't control everything in life. And the way I took that was like, since I can't control everything, I can only control my mood and just the way I perceive things. So always try to, anytime anything's negative or I'm feeling like, down at work, I always try to find light in the day. So I think it's just like kind of like a positive
Okay.
take from the professor.
And I actually just have one more question.
Yeah.
This is a generic question. Tell me about a risk that you've taken, and how did it go? How did the risk, something that you're proud of, I guess, or not proud of, just a risk that you have taken and how the results were? It can be personal too. I mean, just anything in life, a risk that you.
I know.
We like funny things around here. Come on.
So I'm a big car guy and I love cars. And I've always wanted a certain car because I wanted to take this car on the racetrack. And I bought the car in 2019. I bought the car in 2019. I was speaking to the guy for like a year. And mind you, I've never seen the car in person. And so he lives in North Carolina. And I told my wife and I told my mom, I'm going to fly down to North Carolina. I'm going to buy this car and I'm going to drive it back home. And everyone thought I was crazy. But luckily my wife, she decided to fly down with me because she thought I was never going to return. But I ended up buying the car and I drove the car all the way back from North Carolina to Brockton with no issues whatsoever. And I still have the car right now. It's working beautiful.
Okay. Oh, great.
I love the car. So that was like a big risk.
That is a big risk. And it sounds like a success too. So thank you very much. That's it for me.
Thank you.
Car. Give us the details. What kind of car?
It's a 1995 Acura Integra. And it's been like swapped. The motor's like swapped from a different car, from like a 2008 Acura TSX.
Yeah.
And all that. So hopefully to take it down, and like I think there's a racetrack in Connecticut and there's one in New Hampshire.
Yep.
So looking to take it down this year.
Is it a street legal car or?
Yeah, it's still street legal.
Nice.
Mhm.
Excellent.
Excellent. Yeah.
So,
Thank you.
Thank you.
I just have,
So, Leon, how do you handle conflict?
Conflict. Well, when I was younger, I feel like I was the person I tend to hide from conflict. But now I'm much more direct, and just because I've just seen it from personal experience, the longer you wait to do something, it just either backfires on you or then, it just doesn't go how it's planned. So I try to just be as direct as possible and just try to just let someone know as soon as possible, just to avoid things to just backfire and just not working out.
okay. Mary, do you have any questions?
No, I'm all set.
I'm sorry, you can't. I'm
Dina.
sorry. Dina does. I want to introduce Dina, who's our administrative assistant. Do you want to come over here, Dina? And see if she has any questions? I'm sorry, I forgot. Mary.
Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Dina. I'm the administrative assistant. So if
Nice
you
to meet you.
get the position, you and I will be in the office together and we'll be helping each other. So it's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good.
Okay, okay. So Leon, have you thought about the fact that you would need to be safe certified and have some FEMA certificates?
Yeah, I was actually trying to look into that and trying to see what other things I would need to basically qualify for this job and what that, like if you guys did offer to me. So I was looking up and trying to see, I guess, like other like documents or just or literature I could read to just, I guess, get up to date and just educate myself.
Okay, okay. And there is a great deal of confidentiality with this job also because we're working, as you know, very closely right now with our public health nurse and our emergency management person as far as the COVID is concerned. So there is a lot of confidentiality with the position.
Yeah,
Any more questions?
Which basically, what she's saying is the HIPAA rules apply.
yeah, of course.
Familiar with HIPAA?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Are there any more questions? Then I think we're all set. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you know what, Leon, as far as salary goes, what are you looking what are you thinking salary zone should be for this position?
Well, for me, honestly, if I made something like, I guess, 55K or above, I'd be all set.
Okay. And benefit wise, are you looking for anything special there?
No, not really, honestly. Just, I guess, the benefits you guys offer, I guess, what the position offers.
Dawn could speak best to that because she is the biggest government employee who knows all of the ins and outs of how the benefits in the building work. So if you had
Do you want me to tell you anything, Leon, or are you
Yeah, I guess like what would be, I guess, like be like a like the typical benefits, I guess, like people would
all right,
receive.
so you're technically a full-time employee. The hours will be set within your contract that the board will set for you. You're generally entitled to everything that like the union, they generally follow like the union, what the union gets. And it's like 1.25 sick day per, depending upon if the board agrees to that. You get vacation time, and that's secured by how many years of service that you're in. We do offer health insurance, life insurance, dental insurance. We offer the Benny card so that you can, the cafeteria plan there, so you can put money in. So if, for your family, if you have a lot of medical bills, it's
Yeah.
tax-free money and things like that. Health insurance, I gotta tell you, for a family plan, it is pretty expensive. I want to say it's around $250 a week for a family plan. I think it's a 50-50 split, something to that effect. I know family plan's expensive. I know single plan. I think single plan is approximately about $80, depending upon what plan you pick.
Yeah.
They do offer quite a few, so you can do an HMO or things like that. So, and the pay right now, I believe, is around 68,000, and that's, like I said, set by the town. And again, all this stuff I'm sure would be negotiated with the board as far as the benefits. But those are in a nutshell, that's what you get.
Yeah.
Other than the only thing I would say is the salary. I think that may be a little bit off, Dawn. I don't know if we've confirmed the numbers yet. So
Yeah, no, right.
we'd have to get back to you on the actual, if we do a letter of offering, we would definitely post the salary in there.
Yeah.
The important takeaway on the salary is, as the Board of Health, as much as we would love to pay you, we know you're worth your weight in gold, and you can ask Alexis. We fight tooth and nail for her salary increases. When they tell us 1 to 2% is the maximum you can give, please understand that's not the Board of Health's decision. That is the town budgetary constraints that we have to work within.
Yeah.
So this is not, this is a slow and steady increasing salary, but there's not going to be a pot of gold anywhere along the way. It's suddenly not going to be a double your salary kind of thing because you're doing a fantastic job. It's unfortunately not commensurative with your skill set. For lack of a better term, you know, the bean counters say you get X amount of dollars. And if you do 150%, you get X amount of dollars. Obviously, if you do 80%, then the board would have the right to withdraw on your salary. So, but again, you know, the board always will fight. If you're a performer, we would fight 110% to get you the raises that we are able to get you.
Yeah.
But just so you know that, you know, if you're lucky, you'll see 1 to 2% a year, and hopefully you won't see a pay cut. But that also part of our small town budget is
Mhm.
that sometimes there's been a massive group cutback, and everybody had to take a 10% cut.
Yeah.
So, you know, salary is a touchy spot, is I think what I'm trying to say. And, you know, it would stay pretty stable, but it's not going to change drastically in either direction, hopefully.
Yeah.
So,
And I do think he gets mileage, right? And his
Yeah.
cell phone would be free as well, so.
Yes.
well,
Yes.
work-related phone, yeah, would be for
Yeah.
work business only, not a personal phone.
And
Yeah.
also the salary was posted at 63.
63 was the posting.
63.
That was that.
Unfortunately, there's no merit raises or anything like that.
That's what we're trying. Yeah, that's what I think I was trying to say. Is yeah, it's not performance
There's
based.
nothing in the town.
No Christmas bonus, don't wait.
So I think
As a matter of fact, you get to donate for Christmas. You can give to dollars for school. I'm kidding. But we all do care about our town, and we all do make little kickbacks to those kind of things because it's a great little town, and we're all we're actually, with the exception of Alexis and Mary, the three in the three corners here, we're all old townies.
Oh, really? That's nice. That's really nice.
As a matter of fact, Don and I went to high school together. So
We went to our
a
junior
hip
prom
town
together,
you're coming
come
to, right? The little town of Whitman. But a lot of things do happen here, and it's amazing for a small town how busy the health inspector is. And again, a 24/7, 365, and it's easier to hit it head on when you get the call than it is to wait till Monday morning. Well, Leon, do you have any other questions of us?
One question I have is, say for example, you know, you were to offer me this position, what's one thing I could do starting now to just prepare myself and just, I guess, so I don't feel as lost?
Okay, so you can begin with regulations. You know, Massachusetts has a stack of regulations. Do I have that one?
I think the website has a ton. The Board of Health has a whole list of like different things that they offer too. That's a great tool, it's a beginning tool anyways.
All right.
CMR 105, the sanitary code, right?
Okay.
CMR 105, that's a sanitary code. There's a housing code you may want to look at. As far as educationally that you could do on your own, Serve Safe, which is what restauranteurs must have, and food preparation and proper temperature storage, all those kind of things.
Yeah.
That would come out of that class, that would help educate you there. And then the allergen training, which is that's a quick, easy one. It's a basic, you know, allergy awareness program. CPR is probably not a bad thing to have on your resume, no matter where you work. But to start reading through some of the regulations to see what you're going to be responsible for enforcing would be a great start point. Alexis, anything else you could recommend?
The only thing that I would say, and this is just on a personal level, I think that's great advice to tell him what to get and what to look into getting, whether he's applying for this job or another health inspector job, because we don't want to tell Leon until he has this position definitely, or not, to have him go forward and do all of this work.
Yeah, of course,
Wants
yeah.
to put it towards applying somewhere else. And I will be honest with you, there are a lot of openings for health inspectors right now due to COVID. I know of 6 towns that are looking for them. So it would be a great thing for you to do, even if you don't get this position in particular. And that's what I did before I applied for this job. I got some FEMAs, you'll see them on there, the allergen, the Serve Safe. I was just prepared before I even applied for any of these jobs. So
Okay.
going forward, I would do that if you're interested in a health inspector job, just to be prepared.
All
Okay?
right.
And when we did the interview with Alexis just a couple of days ago, because she's still very young, one of the most impressive things that really popped for us on her resume was the fact that she had gone and done these things on her own before she even had the position. Again, Serve Safe you have to pay for. We get that, the allergen training. I think that one's short money. But to start reviewing the regulations of the state, even whether it's with our position or you apply for another position, to be able to say that you have a working knowledge of these things it just looks fantastic on your resume and pops very well.
All right. All right. Thank you for that. I really appreciate that. That's
No
really
problem.
helpful.
Thank you for your time. It's been great talking to you.
Hey, thank you guys. I really appreciate it. It was a pleasure.
All right. Take
All
care.
right.
Thank
bye.
you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey, Leon.
He's gone. Yes, oh yeah, he's been waiting.
So we're gonna admit
We're bringing
Dan
in
now?
The next.
Can we have 2 seconds to talk?
Well, he's actually been waiting.
He's actually on there waiting.
All right, real quick. Does anybody see anything we didn't hit on or we should hit on with the next candidate? That's all I want to touch base with. As a group, did anybody feel like we missed something or?
No.
I don't believe so.
Okay, great. I just wanted to touch base to make sure we're all on the same page and we're not missing anything special. Fantastic. Let's bring on the next one. Sorry, Barbara.
That's okay. He's connecting to audio. Can you hear us, Dan?
Hello, Mr. Kelly.
Can you, no, he's still connecting.
Connected. Hello, Dan.
Okay,
Yep, we cannot hear you. Can you increase your microphone volume by chance? We see the lips move, so we know you're talking.
he's unmuted. I can hear him just a little bit.
Whoop.
Whoop, I lost his face.
Gotta love Zoom. Barbara, you are so lucky to have that girl sitting next to you because boy, she is just spot
Hey,
on. It's good
Hey,
stuff.
Alexis, are you there? I gotta show you my Basset. Oh, shoot, my Alexis just went off. Wait, can you see her? Where is she? There she is.
Oh. Now
She's
come on,
my-
dog.
She's the evil one.
Oh my God, she's adorable.
She doesn't look.
Hi. Daisy, say hi. Say hi. See, I'm the evil one.
Can everyone,
Oh.
Hey, I love my mama.
Hey, Dan, how are you? Sorry, we're dealing with the dog right now. Please bear
It's
with us.
cute dog?
Okay, you all set now, Dan? Okay, want to introduce ourselves. My name is Barbara White. I'm the chair of the board.
Hello, Barbara. Nice to meet you. I'm Dan.
Dan. Hello.
I'm the health inspector. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
I'm Dawn Varley. I am a board member, the newest board member, I guess, and also the town clerk in Whitman.
Awesome. Great to meet you, Don.
Yeah, same here, Dan. Like your name.
Thank you.
Kirk?
Oh, yeah. For the sake of full disclosure, I already know Danny, but Dan, welcome and appreciate you taking the time to interview with us.
Yeah, no, thank you to all of you to sit down and talk with me.
And have you met the lovely Alexis?
Yes, I introduced myself.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
And now Dina.
Oh, and Dina. My right hand, my right, yes, you can see her through Alexis. My right hand person here.
I
Right and left-hand person, it looks like with this Zoom meeting.
So Dan, tell us a little bit about yourself and why you would like to be the health inspector in the town of Whitman.
So a little bit about myself. Obviously, I grew up in Whitman. I've been here my whole life. I'm actually a recent college graduate from UMass Dartmouth. Obviously, with these COVID times going on, things are a little bit different, but I normally like to hang out with my friends and play golf. Those are kind of my two big things, and spend time with my girlfriend. I shouldn't leave her out. But other than that, I'm a compassionate person who likes to work with others and doesn't really like to be cooped up in an office 24/7, with like some of my past experience in jobs being always like on the road. And I have a lot of experience in like customer service and dealing with all different types of people. But other than that, I'm pretty like fun, and I think I'm easy to get along with. And I think that would be some of my strongest qualities.
Okay. Alexis, do you want to talk to him?
Sure.
Okay.
I'll switch
We're going to switch
positions.
places.
Okay.
Being in that position, you know better.
Hi, Dan.
I
I just have a couple of things to just ask you, just to get to know you a little bit better.
Yeah, of course.
Basically, this position, you'll be approaching a lot of business owners, okay? When approaching a business owner, manager on a violation that you have witnessed in a food prep or food protection or physical or on-premise violation, how would you handle this, and what type of conversation would you have, and what steps would you take to make things correct? How do
I
you
mean,
deal with difficult people? Let's put it that way.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, especially with my experience at L Knife, I've worked with all kinds of people that can be some a little grouchy and some not. But I think the first thing I'll do is try to just pull that person aside and explain to them like the problem and try to help them fix it and be as helpful as I can, because I want the businesses of Whitman to succeed, obviously, and do well. So my first act would be try to help them and get that problem solved. And then if they had a problem with that and didn't want to listen, basically, I would have to talk to the board and see what we want to do about it. And if it was something like major, like obviously an intimate health hazard, you'd have to explain to them you're going to have to shut them down until they get this problem fixed.
How do you feel playing a leading role like that? In fact, in this position, it's also a department head. So how do you feel holding a department head leading role? Do you feel
Um,
comfortable with that?
Yeah, that doesn't like scare me at all or anything like that. I've obviously being a little bit younger, I don't have a ton of leadership experience, but even like at school in my senior thesis, it was actually a group project. I was voted by my class members that were randomly assigned to my group to be the leader, and that's just being in communication with our professor and making sure everything's submitted on time. And even at L Knife, every summer when I would come back, I would help train the new hires because they're not going to have one of the CDL drivers do that. So the first couple of days back, I'll be training the new hires, other kids my age, how to do different things. And they felt that I was obviously responsible enough for that role, even though some of the kids were older than me. And I think I'm a pretty compassionate leader. I don't try to belittle people or anything like that. And I'm also not afraid to ask for help, because I know there's people that know more than me, especially when I first started. I wouldn't be afraid to ask questions and find the right person to give me the information I need.
I noticed that you really prepared yourself well before you applied for this job by going for certain things. You got your FEMAs and you got your allergens, and now you've recently graduated to ServSafe also. So
Yeah,
we were very impressed that you did that.
that was just
Congratulate you on that.
January I finished that up.
That's great. Would you consider this a stepping stone job to another job, or would you be happy staying here for a while? I know it's tough to plan your future, but how do you feel about staying put for a while?
Yeah, obviously it's hard to say, concerned I don't even know if I'll have the job yet, but
Right.
the way I look at it, I'll be there for a minimum of 5 years. And I've always loved being in Whitman, and Whitman's gave me a lot. And I think if I really liked the job and succeeded in it, I could see myself staying there much longer than 5 years.
Okay. Now this is a small office that we work in, the Board of Health. And in this position, you'd be working very closely with the administrative assistant. The administrative assistant in the Board of Health is also very involved in the knowledge of health issues in dealing with the town business licensing. And they play a large part in helping new businesses understand licensing protocol prior to opening and staying current. working daily by phone calls, emails with the same intentions in mind as the health inspector. Just want to make it clear that a good co-working relationship is imperative in this department. In this case, do you feel comfortable working closely with another on a daily basis? Because it is, it's a small office. You're in and out, it's the really nice part of this job because you are in and out. You're not sitting all day. But
Yeah.
you usually start your day communicating about things that are happening before you head out to do your inspections or whatever you're needed for on the road, out in the
Yep.
field. So how do you feel about working closely with someone and communicating with them on a daily basis? And how does that go over with you?
I mean, I think that is like something that I'm very used to. As in my past 4 summers, I worked with the same guy the whole 4 summers and never would be getting in fights or anything like that. I think people find that I have no problem doing at least my half of the work, if not a lot more. A lot of times I just like, I'm kind of a go, go, go person. So sometimes like if someone needs to take a little break for something or they got to take, like, I have no problem picking up and doing something to help them out because that's just how I think like it should work. If you are, I know I've understand being in a team and like being a team player. Basically, I've grew up playing sports and I've always just found like if you work with someone and work hard for them, they'll understand that and they'll do the same for you.
Sounds great. Dawn, would you like to spend some time talking to Dan? Dawn?
Certainly. Yeah, no, I had to just unmute myself. I was getting a phone call and I had to unmute
Oh, my
myself.
goodness.
Hi, Dan, how are you?
Hey. Good. How are you?
Good, very nice to meet you.
Nice to
I'm going to ask you the same questions that I asked the other candidate, and I just, they're general questions because I myself, you know more about the Board of Health than I do. So I would like to ask you, why do you want this job? Why do you want to work in the Board of Health?
I think the one big reason is obviously that I grew up here in Whitman, and I think I see it as an opportunity to work in Whitman, and especially in a time like now with COVID, obviously, I think it's a great opportunity to help the business of Whitman do well. Like the last thing I want to see is empty like built retail buildings in Whitman. I want to make sure everyone does well, and I also I feel like one of the main reasons I went to college is because I wanted to be able to do things like this, as in help others and not just kind of do your own thing and get everything done. Like I feel the opportunity to work as the health inspector is like doing something more for the community.
Okay. All right. My next question would be, I know you're probably a little bit familiar, but I'm going to pretend that you're not with town government, municipal government, and the Board of Health. You're run, your boss are 3 people. They're 3 board members. So that's who you report to. You don't report to the town administrator or anything. Obviously, if there's a situation and there are certain, Alexis knows those, but technically the board is your boss. We set your contract, things like that. And the salary is set by the town and you have to go in front of the finance committee. There's a whole process that has to happen. What are your salary expectations for this position? They'll questions that haven't been answered that asked will sure be asked by Eric is, sometimes you have to go out at 2 in the morning or 3 in the morning. Sometimes you're working 40 hours a week. I mean, I do elections, I'm salary. During elections, I worked 90 hours a week and you still get the same pay. What are your expectations about your salary?
I mean, my salary expectations, I saw online the Whitman salaries and just I kind of looked around at like other salaries from towns nearby. And I know it'd be towards the bottom. Like I think it's right around 62,000. I didn't look exactly at the thing. To me, money isn't like the number one factor of why I want to do something. If I enjoy my job, that'll give me more satisfaction than that little bit of extra money would.
Okay, great. Tell me an asset or something that a previous boss gave you for advice or, a procedure, that policy that they set that you found to be, a good resource to take with you in your future. So you're going to be a manager. So what is something that a past boss has done that you feel will help you?
Yeah, I think actually one of the big ones is from my very first job, and my store manager, Sue, she was actually she's different than other managers I've had, is because instead of just always sitting in the office kind of just waiting for like a phone call or the email that she has to take because others can't. She would always be out on the floor. If she saw one department was really busy, she would come over and take a customer and help out. And I think that's how I'd want to be as a manager. I'd rather lead by example than by just pointing and saying, oh, go do this. Like, I think a good manager really like takes the reins and will do some of the stuff that other people might not.
Good answer. And my last question to you, and this can be personal, this can be however you want to answer it, is tell me something, tell me a risk that you took in your life. It can be anything, like I said, even something personal. And how did it go for you? Like, you know, a risk that you took and the outcome of that risk. And
Okay. I think actually one of the biggest risks for me is when I first graduated high school, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I think probably from my resume, you guys can tell I've done a lot of more like hands-on work and like physical labor, but I ended up deciding to go to college, which is a pretty big risk when you don't know what you want to do and spend all that money. And I think I'm actually happy with my decision because it gives me an opportunity to do something like this that I can help a community rather than, which, not that I'm saying it's not important because it's very important. And I have a lot of friends in the different unions and things like that. But if you're like a carpenter or something, you're not really helping a bigger group of people. You might help someone in their home or something like that. But I think the opportunity to help a large group of people is something that I like think is very interesting and would love to do.
great, thank you. And thank you for answering all my questions.
Yeah, no, thank you, Don.
Okay, I wanted to talk to you about there's a work cell phone that's provided that has to be answered or checked frequently when not physically in the job. Sometimes an emergency situation would make it necessary to come back into work or do an on-site call. Oftentimes calls are for guidance from townspeople, but answering these calls can truly calm a situation rather than waiting to place a Monday return call. Other important calls that could come through may be communication from fire or police. Some may consider this an inconvenience. Would this be acceptable to you?
Yeah, that would absolutely be acceptable. I was aware that you wear a beeper, and that is not something that bothers me. I really actually kind of like working with my job at El Knife. They were a seniority list, and I worked always towards the bottom. And almost all summers, I'd work 55-hour weeks, and then during the fourth and things, I would get into the 60 hours. It doesn't bother me working hard and those long hours. And I know someone has to be there, and I would accept that responsibility happily.
Okay, thank you. Maybe did Eric want to speak? Anyone have any other questions?
So basically hitting on what Barbara's talking about, that it is unfortunately a 24/7, 365 job. That doesn't mean you don't get vacations and we get you covered and stuff, but for the most part, we need to make sure that you understand that it's 24/7, that at 2 o'clock in the morning, you may get called to go to an apartment building because there is a bad situation in the building and you could potentially have to condemn something. You know, it's not a Monday through Friday 7 to 3 job. And as Alexis can certainly attest to, depending on the environment of the town, you can be answering calls all weekend. And we just want to make sure that you're aware of that and that that's part of your responsibility.
Yeah, no, I totally understand that. And my mentality about that is it's what you sign up for. I wouldn't be here if I thought it wasn't something I couldn't handle.
Great. And it looks like you already started doing some stuff on your own as far as prepping to be on the Board of Health. You're working on your Serve Safe, you did your allergen, you got your FEMA stuff.
Yep.
Sounds like you did your homework about the position, and I think it tells us that you got a pretty good idea of what's going to be expected of you.
Yeah, I definitely did a little bit of homework and tried to get some of those certificates just to obviously have some more credibility and to just understand, have some knowledge about the position if I were to get it. At least I wasn't coming in completely blind.
Yep, no, you should be commended for that because, again, that was probably the most impressive thing on Alexis's resume was the fact that prior to getting the position, she'd already done her homework and started working on some of these things. And that for us, as the board, that's an impressive thing that really pops and sticks out for us. And it kind of draws us in your direction a little bit more than somebody that that's applying for the position that didn't put any effort into it. It really shows that you've got a desire here. And I just wanted to say that was an awesome move on your part, Dan.
Well, thank you.
Okay, and there's a great deal of confidentiality with this job too, especially right now with COVID. And there's also a little more, what do I want to say? Some conflicts, I guess. You have to diffuse. Okay.
Yeah, no, I definitely can see where that could come into play.
So Dan, you get a phone call at 2 o'clock in the morning and someone's going to complain to you that they weren't wearing masks at Burger King. Alexis laughs because she knows it's not a made-up situation. So how do you handle that one?
I mean, everything the first thing I would have to do is, I guess, go either give Burger King a call and then go see them and make sure they are. Actually, I would think I would just pop in and see if they're really wearing it or not. I wouldn't call them and give them the chance to and go, they are wearing them, and see if the caller had any truth behind their story. And if they did, I assume if it's a first time offense, you could give the warning and say, hey guys, you gotta have your mask on. I know it's 2 a.m. and no one's really coming by, but it's policy. It's a real risk. COVID isn't a joke, and have to make sure they're wearing the masks. And then I guess also I'd bring it to the attention of the board members, because of course I think they should know everything that's going on and see what they also think about the situation. Like I said, I think just because I'm the inspector, I think the board is a great resource that also has a ton of knowledge. It's 3 people's brains to 1. Like I would use them at every chance that I could.
All right, then here's the really important question, Dan. Are you going to call the board at 2 o'clock in the morning?
I would definitely not call the board at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Great answer, Dan. Great answer. Okay, excellent. You picked up on something very good, which I was impressed with, and you would find out if it was really a legitimate complaint, because we do have situations at times where you have a disgruntled employee who, after 5 years, or a tenant after 5 years, suddenly has a reason to have an issue.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that you picked up on that. Very well done. Excellent. Anybody have anything else?
I think we're good. We're very good.
Yeah, I think we're good. You good, Dawn?
Yeah, I'm fine. I don't know if he wants to know any of the other stuff as far as like health insurance or benefits, or only because we shared it with Leon, I think
Right.
maybe.
Right. Go ahead. You can, Dawn.
So I'm just going to be a town employee. I've been working for the town for over 20 years. So you are offered sick time, vacation time generally. I mean, the board will have to negotiate a contract with you, but
Yeah.
usually they follow what the union gets. So I think you get like 1.25 hours, a day and a quarter a month for sick time. I think it equals out to 15 sick days a year. And then you get vacation time, and that depends on how long you've been there as to how many weeks you get and things like that. It's pretty fair, I think, because a lot of places don't offer both or either. And then you also may be entitled to personal time. I'm not sure how the board works as far as that goes. I've never negotiated a contract with this board. Anyhow, and then there is health insurance, life insurance, dental insurance. They have the FSA card, so that if you want to put some money, if you plan on getting dental work, so it's pre-taxed dollars to pay for your prescriptions or your co-pays and things like that. Health insurance, it's not the greatest, but it's health insurance. So that's what people say. As far as family plan, it's like $250 a week. I know that's steep. They don't have like a +1, so that if you were just married and it was yourself and your wife, it'd be a lower rate. it's strictly to like $250. And then again, it depends on what plan you choose. And then the single plan is somewhere around $80 for a decent plan. But there's plenty of people that if you do get selected that you can talk to and they can walk you through if you do need, in fact, need health insurance and stuff like that. So, and like I said, there is life insurance and you can add more. We actually have a Voya where you can put money towards your retirement and things like that. So there's a lot of those types of benefits that not everybody offers in the private sector. So those are some good things. And there's a lot of good people that work in the town. And there's a
Yeah.
lot of pain in the butts, and I'm probably number one. So woohoo.
Not true, Dan, not true.
That is too. But
And-
Well-
anyhow, whatever. So do you have any questions about any of the opportunities as far as what the town may offer?
I think so, and thank you for the information, though. That's great to know.
Okay, great.
Okay, so if everybody's all set, I think we'll conclude this and we'll be in touch
We'll be in touch, yeah.
after we make our decision.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you for applying.
Thank you for your time, Dan.
Yeah, no, thank all of you for taking your time out of your day and sitting down and talking with me.
You're welcome.
You're
Thank you for
welcome.
being there.
Well, have a great weekend, guys.
You too.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Oh, Dina, did you want to say something?
Oh, did we introduce Dina?
Danny?
Hi, Dina. I think we did in the very beginning.
We did, thank you, and congratulations on getting your serve safe.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, thank you for.
All right, have a great day, guys.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
bye-bye.
We jumped off.
All right.
He's off. Okay, he's off.
Oh, sorry, Dina.
So
Oh, gosh. Oh,
Dan's removed from this now, right?
right, it's just us on now. Yep.
Okay.
Mhm. Does anybody have any feelings, any suggestions?
Well,
You want to go into executive session and we can stop recording?
you can't.
We didn't
Oh,
do-
okay. That's fine. I just wasn't sure.
No, we didn't post it as such.
Right.
Don, you-
Okay. That-
I actually, I have, I'm going to tell you, I like them both for different reasons. Totally. I mean, they're two totally different human beings and they bring two different things to the table. I would like to make my, can I tell you who I would like to vote for?
Sure, that's what-
I would like to vote for Mr. Kelly. I think he brings, having already going through looking for things and, getting serve safe, getting things, he's showing the initiative. I loved his personality, great way to handle Burger King. And thank God he wouldn't call me at 2:00 in the morning. So
That was quick, right?
that was a good answer. I don't know if we need to discuss anymore. I mean, that's who my vote is for is, if you want me to, I will make a motion to hire Dan Kelly for our new health inspector. And if I can get the second would be great. And we wouldn't have to discuss anymore.
So you're making the motion.
I'm making the motion.
Well,
I feel that
Can
strongly
we
about
just,
it.
before we do that, can we just go around the table and get everybody's input?
Well, so you make the motion and then,
we just- Make the
then
motion.
you discuss
Okay.
and
Okay,
you
so-
get seconded.
Okay, I'm going to second the motion.
And now we can discuss.
Now we are open for discussion.
All right. I honestly, I think we had two great candidates, surprisingly. But I have to agree with Dawn that I think Danny just had a little bit more to him. One of the things he came up with, which I found interesting, and didn't dawn on me until he said it, he was involved in sports. That means he's a team player. The other kid never mentioned any sports or anything. That was kind of a, that was just one of the trips. Another was that Danny had a shirt and tie on. The other guy was open collared. And again, maybe it's old school, but you always wore a suit and tie to a job interview. It just said something. And again, Danny has already done his homework and started his background research on what needs to be done as a health inspector. The other guy kind of, I think, is starting to lean into that direction, but I don't think he's quite there yet. I think he's got good potential, and I think it was a great interview. I think Danny's just got that one little nudge above him that makes him the better candidate. And that's my 2 cents.
I
Thank-
agree. I was impressed with both of them.
Yeah,
Pleasantly surprised, given, it's hard to get a health inspector. I felt like Dan's references were really good.
yeah,
His work, especially the 2 where he worked and said how he was a leader and he took initiative and good worker. And we didn't have that, unfortunately. And the fact that he did take the initiative to go and get the serve safe, which is not an easy thing to do.
yeah.
That he would get my vote also. Alexis, Nina,
Alexis?
yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. You guys gotta change seats. I forget you're in the same room. It's just different angles.
Yes, well, we don't have any volume over there, any audio, so that we have feedback. So I am with you as far as saying they were both great candidates. I lean towards Dan, of course. I know I don't have a vote, but my opinion is I just like his take, his answers. I think he would be very easy to work with, the administrative assistant. He's willing to learn. A lot of people aren't willing to learn. They think they know it all, and he does not have that attitude.
Yeah,
I liked everything about him. I liked the fact that he went forward and did his serve safe, his allergen, did the FEMAs. I mean, that's impressive in itself. And that takes a lot of time and money too, to take the serve safe. And he
Yeah.
spent the money, he studied. That's a very difficult test now to pass. So I am with you guys on this one.
How about Dina? What is her feeling? I mean, I know that's kind of. if
come
she
on,
doesn't
Dina,
want-
get up. Your turn for the hot seat.
She can plead the 5th because she has to work with this person, so.
No, I agree with all of you guys. Both of them are outstanding candidates. They have great backgrounds, educations. I do think that Dan did a little more research and got what he needed to be ahead of the game with the position. Plus the fact that he's from Whitman, he'll have a better understanding of the businesses in town, where in town he needs to be and focus on. So I'm tend to lean with the rest of you, and I think he's
Great.
a candidate. Thank you.
Well, Dawn and Barbara,
Yeah, we
you
have to.
do have the votes. You've heard from all of us.
So the motion on the floor is to offer Dan Kelly the position of health inspector. And it was seconded by Barbara, so.
So, what did you ask me? Oh, so when can we offer the job, Dawn? Is there any waiting period you know of between?
Well, he'll have to get quarried and he'll have to pass those things. I'm not sure what, you'll have to check with Lisa Green. And I don't know when his availability is. I mean, that's the one thing I think we forgot to ask him. I don't know if he's
Yeah,
available.
Put that one on the to do question mark for the next interview.
Yeah,
Which
I
hopefully
think
we-
I think that would be up to, maybe Alexis could follow through with that, see when his soonest availability. She's the one that's staying on to save our souls. And,
Bless her.
and he would have to, I'm sure, pass like the quarry and a physical. He needs a physical, things like that. I mean, we can make the motion to offer it to him, and if he doesn't pass that, then go on, then offer it to Leon. Then that way we wouldn't have to come back here if you felt that way. But I feel that Dan's safe enough. I think it's safe just to go with Dan, and if he does not pan out with the physical and the quarry and stuff, then we could start the process over. It's
So we can-
how I feel.
Dawn, I think you brought up a good point. Rather than start the process over, I would probably go right to Leon rather than.
Okay,
Because he really did interview great, and like I said, Danny's just got that little bit of schmudge more than
Yeah.
Leon
so
had.
so then I will take back my motion, and Barbara, you'll have to take back your second to offer the job to Danny Kelly. And I would make my motion. Do you want to take back your second, Barbara? And I'll take back my motion.
Okay,
And then I'm going to make a motion to offer the job to Danny Kelly. And then if he doesn't accept it, or he does not pass the quarry and the physical or the requirements to be hired by the town, then we would then offer the job to Leon Edwards as a second.
okay. So we first have to rescind the first motion, right?
which I rescinded my motion first, yeah.
I'll second to rescind that.
Okay, and then I'll make the motion, like I just said, to offer the job to Dan Kelly and providing he makes all, passes everything and he is our new health inspector. If that doesn't work out, then we could offer it to Leon Edwards under the same circumstances.
Okay, I will second that.
Okay.
Okay. But we didn't do a roll for rescinding, but I think that's okay.
I don't think you have to, but
Okay, but we do have to do a roll for this.
yes,
John,
yes.
and I will vote yes. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's-
So Alexis is going to be the one that's going to be reaching out, right, to him and find out from Lisa what he has to do and
We know we have to offer it before we can query.
Yes. I was
Yeah.
wondering about
right,
forward.
and find out when he can start.
Yeah, we'll take care of all those
We'll
details.
take care of it.
Yeah, I'd love to know, a quick email or something to let me know when he could hire. I mean, start. Yeah. And then, not to get off topic, I don't know, I would ask Lisa about Mary being on the board too, so that, whatever.
Okay,
All right, where it's a direct, I'm not sure.
we'll get
Okay.
a ruling
We'll
on
find out.
that.
Get a ruling on that because I think that might,
Yeah.
Yeah, just the appearance of it. We just want to be clear. And again,
There's
I
no impropriety.
personally don't think anybody made their decision based on any of that. I think if we look at the numbers and the facts in front of us, it was based on fact, to be
yeah,
honest.
I did not even know. Actually, I didn't know,
Yeah. No, again, they were both good candidates, really.
Yeah.
How
And
lucky-
anybody who watched it and questioned it, I don't think that there'd be any question. I really feel comfortable
Mhm.
with my
If
decision.
anybody watching and has questions or concerns about it, they are more than welcome to run for a seat on the Board of Health.
That's right.
Correct.
Because there's
Yes.
going to be a vacancy.
There will be a vacancy. There will be. And you
Okay.
can pull papers on January 25th at the town clerk's office. You're supposed to call by appointment. The phone number is 781-618-9710. And
I'm
we
sorry,
will
what
give
was
you
that number again?
instructions. It was 781-618-9710. There are many seats that are up and you can get nomination papers through an appointment in my office and you will get detailed instructions. Don't be afraid of getting signatures. We are working with the potential candidates to work through this COVID and having to get signatures from people because it's a scary thing out there people are afraid of you. So, but we've come up with a solution and we will be sharing it with every potential candidate, the same instructions, so. And there is a Board of Health seat, and please, somebody come forward if you're interested.
And there are plenty of other seats in town that are open, I'm sure. That
Absolutely.
gladly take a candidate.
Yeah, there's town clerk, my position, Board of Selectmen, there's school committee, planning board, DPW, and I'm gonna forget some, and anyways.
Okay.
So there's plenty of seats, plenty of opportunities for people to get involved.
Excellent.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, thank you for inviting me. It was a pleasure to be able to sit with you, and I really was very impressed with both candidates. I can't get over compared to some of the interviews we've done, Barbara. Life is turning. I think we finally got the salary to a point that people with an educational background are willing to actually take the position. And it was a long, hard fight getting it to that position, but well worth it. I think the time paid off, Barbara.
Good. Okay. And thank you so much for sitting in and helping us, Eric. We really. appreciate it.
Anytime.
Thank you, Eric. And you can pull papers too,
So do I have a motion to adjourn?
You have a motion to adjourn.
Okay, and I'll second that. Okay, Dawn,
Yes.
and I will vote yes. So we are adjourning at 2:42 PM. Thank you. everyone.
Congratulations, guys.
Thank you very
Thank you.
much.